the concept of geometrical isomerism. Today we are going to discuss the part 2 of geometrical isomerism. The first thing that we are going to discuss here is geometrical isomerism in case of oximes. Till date in part 1, we discussed regarding geometrical isomerism in case of or around carbon-carbon double bond. Here what is the exception? Here we are going to see geometrical isomerism around the carbon-nitrogen double bond. For this, the most suitable example is that of oximes. And how these oximes are formed? When a carbonyl compound reacts with hydroxylamine or an amino derivative. In that case, the NH2 hydrogen or hydrogen attached to nitrogen atom will react with this oxygen of carbonyl bond and a molecule of water is liberated out. And during this process of interaction, this nitrogen atom get attached to the carbon and they get attached to each other through a double bond. Okay. Now when this carbon and nitrogen gets attached through this double bond, what sort of hybridization we are supposed to see here? As because it becomes a structure just like alkenes, we can say the hybridization will be of sp2 type. Okay. As a result, we can say the oximes also show geometrical isomerism. The oximes are of two types. What are these two types? First is aldoxime. If the carbonyl starting material is an aldehyde, then the resultant oxime is called as aldoxime. Likewise, the second category is ketoximes. What are these ketoximes? If the carbonyl compound which is condensed with hydroxylamine is a ketone compound, in that case, the resultant product is called ketoxime. Okay, so what is the difference between these aldoximes and ketoximes? Aldoximes are derived from aldehyde. In this case, at least either R or R1 is hydrogen. Whereas in case of ketoximes, these are derivatives of ketones. And in this case, both R and R1 are alkyl or aryl groups only. None of them is supposed to be hydrogen. Both may be alkyl. One may be alkyl, one may be aryl, or both may be aryl. The oximes show geometrical isomerism due to restricted rotation about the carbon-nitrogen double bond. Two geometrical forms are possible here in case of oximes, and they are possible in these two forms. Here we can see. Here we can observe in the first diagram that R and R1, they are oriented in such a way that this OH group and R1, they lie on same side of the double bond. Now, if we compare this structure with this one, what we can observe here is that in case of this compound, the R and OH functional group, they lie on one side, which is just reverse of this structure. Isn't it? Here R1 and OH lie on the same side of the double bond, and here R and OH lie on the same side of the double bond. So such type of dissimilarity in case of geometrical isomers are described using the descriptors syn and anti. And using these descriptors, we can distinguish these two types of geometrical isomers. In case of aldoxymes, the syn form is the one in which both the hydrogen and hydroxyl group are on the same side of the nitrogen, carbon-nitrogen double bond. Whereas in the anti-form, they are on the opposite side. Okay. So this is explained here using this diagrammatic molecules. See here, as because one of the R groups is hydrogen, it is considered to be an aldoxyme, and here H and OH lie on same side of the double bond, hence it is synoxyme. Here if we observe H and OH, they lie on opposite side of the double bond, hence it is anti, to be specific, antioxyme. Okay. Now, for the sake of remembrance, we can remember it like the term anti means opposite, is not it? So here we can correlate the position of H and OH with respect to this carbon-nitrogen double bond in case of antioxymes. However, when we talk about ketoxymes, in case of aldoxyme, of these two function groups, one is hydrogen. So the relative position of hydrogen and OH helps us to decide whether the geometrical isomer is of syn type or anti-type. However, when we talk about ketoxyme, the designation is somewhat different. In case of ketoxymes, the syn and anti descriptors, they indicate the spatial relationship between the first group cited in the name and the hydroxyl group. If in the name means it is not the position of hydrogen, because there is no question of hydrogen in case of ketoxymes. So what is supposed to be the main point of comparison here? Here, the group which is cited first in the name of the compound is taken into consideration, and its relative position with OH is compared. Now, for example, suppose we are taking the following ketoxyme of butanone. Okay. Now, when we talk about its nomenclature, it can be named either as syn methyl ethyl ketoxyme, or it can be described as anti-ethyl methyl ketoxyme. If in the nomenclature methyl group is cited first, then the relative position of CH3 and OH should be taken into consideration. If in the nomenclature ethyl group is cited first, then the relative position of OH and C2,5 is taken into consideration. Here, so if we are if the methyl group is cited first in the nomenclature, here we can observe CH3 and OH, they lie on the same side of the double bond, hence methyl ethyl ketoxyme. And if at all we are considering the relative position of OH and ethyl group, it will be anti-ethyl methyl ketoxyme. Now let us see this EZ notation of oxymes in detail. The geometrical isomers are better differentiated by using EZ notations. The Z oxymes has hydroxyl groups and the group with higher priority on the same side of the carbon-nitrogen double bond. However, in E oxymes, here we talked about Z oxymes. And here we are talking about E-oxime. Now we can recall what this E and Z stands for. Z stands for zusammen, whereas E stands for entgegen. Zusammen means together. E or entgegen represents opposite. Okay. So in case of E-oximes, they are arranged in the on the opposite sides of carbon-nitrogen double bond. Okay. Now let us find out. Let us try to represent this syn form of aldoxime in terms of E. In terms of E notation, EZ notation to be specific. Okay. Now, when we talk about this syn form, we can see the hydrogen and OH group. They lie on the same side of carbon-nitrogen double bond. As a result, we can say it is syn form of aldoxime. Okay. Now, if we talk about its IUPAC name, it is called as hydroxyethanimine. Why not ethanamine? It is because of the presence of the double bond, which makes the name hydroxyethanimine. Okay. Now this hydroxyethanimine is containing a nitrogen atom, and the orientation of the molecule is considered around the carbon-nitrogen double bond. In case of this syn-acetyl doxime, we can observe that here the priority of CH3 and hydrogen, if they are compared, which functional group or atom is supposed to have higher priority? Atom H or group methyl. CH3 group is supposed to have higher priority. Now, as per EZ notation or EZ form of describing geometrical isomers, what we said here? We said that high priority bearing functional group and OH functional group. What is their relative position around the carbon-nitrogen double bond or about the carbon-nitrogen double bond? Here we can see they are opposite. So which notation we are going to use for describing the syn form? We are going to use E notation. Okay. Hence, we will say 1E and hydroxyethanimine. Likewise, if we describe the antiform in terms of EZ notation, we can see high priority bearing functional group among these two lies on the same side as that of the OH group in comparison to the carbon-nitrogen double bond. Okay, so the term Z, zusammen or Zame, which is equivalent to same or together. They lie on the same side or they lie together. Hence the name 1Z and hydroxyethanimine. Till now, the concept is clear, or do you have any doubt? Till now, the concept is clear. Okay. Next, let us see what is configuration and what is conformation. Now, configuration of a molecule is supposed to represent the spatial arrangement of atoms and groups about a rigid part of the molecule, that is about the double bond or a ring. A ring is supposed to add rigidity to the structure, the way a double bond used to add rigidity to a molecule. Okay. Configurations are not interconvertible because of the restricted rotation. Okay. And they can be represented by Fisher-Waite projection. Okay, there are two types of configuration in all. What are they? First one is relative configuration and second one is absolute configuration. The relative configuration is utilized, or it is used to describe the configuration of a molecule about a symmetric center. When we talk about symmetric center, definitely comes the role of chiral carbon. When we talk about chiral carbon, then 4 different functional groups are supposed to be attached to the chiral carbon. In case of this relative configuration, we can see further subclassification like D and L configuration, and the second subclass of relative configuration is erythro and trioform. When we talked about this, when we studied this DL configuration, if you remember, we took the example of various sugar molecules and various amino acid molecules for explanation. Likewise, we saw the examples of erythro and trioform. In case of erythroform, we observed that similar priority bearing group, or high priority bearing functional group, they lie on one side, or we can say similar functional groups, they lie on one side. Whereas in case of trioform, either different functional groups, they lie on same side, or we can say atoms or groups having different priorities, they are placed on one side. The next broad category is absolute configuration. What is the meaning of absolute configuration? When we talk about relative, there is a condition of comparison. When we talk about absolute configuration, it is the special arrangement of the groups in a chiral molecule which distinguishes it from its mirror image. The absolute configuration can be of two types, R and S type, and second is E and Z type. So these are the entire details related to configurations. Now let us see what are conformations. Now see, when we talk about configurations and conformation, first of all, you must be very much sure about what is the meaning of configuration and what is the meaning of conformations. So till now we discussed regarding configurations. Now I will explain you what are conformations. Now let us first talk about configurations. Here, what are configurations? These are also referred to as conformers, a set of conformers or a set of conformational isomers which differ in arrangement of atoms which occur as a result of rotation about single bonds. For example, now let us see this example. Okay, now when we see this example, here we can observe there are two carbon atoms which are attached to each other through a sigma bond or a single bond. Okay, now as I told you, conformation is because of the rotation about single bonds. Here let us see, or let us consider, this is the bond around which rotation we want to see. Okay. Now, if we observe this structure number 1 very clearly or keenly, in that case, we can see that there are 3 atoms or functional groups attached to the first carbon, and 3 atoms or functional groups are attached to the second carbon. To the first carbon, what and all are attached? A chlorine atom is attached, a hydrogen atom is attached, and one methyl group is attached. Whereas to the second carbon, one hydroxyl functional group is attached, one bromine atom is attached, and one hydrogen atom is attached. Now, keeping this carbon same, how it is ensured in the diagram? Here you can see the orientation of these 3 attachments to the first carbon remains the same everywhere, here also. Okay, so what we are doing? We are simply rotating this carbon. Suppose we first rotate this bond by 120 degree. What will happen? The first carbon is kept in its same position, whereas the bonds attached to this second carbon is rotated, and they are rotated by 120 degree. Okay, when this 120 degree rotation takes place, what happens? The 3 functional groups, they get rotated in such a way that this bromine comes to the top position, that is the position of hydrogen. OH comes to the position of Br, and H goes to the position of OH. Is it the same thing? Here we can see OH is brought here, Br is brought here, and H is taken to the position of OH. And we get this structure. Now, if we want to compare these 2 structures, is there any difference in their molecular formula? No. Is there any change in their molecular weight? No. Do you think there is any change in their properties? We can say at times they may differ, whereas most of the times they represent the same molecule. And why is it so? Because these 2 forms, they are easily interconvertible. Okay. Now, if at all we subject this molecule to undergo a rotation of further 120 degree, rotation by 120 degree further, then what will be observed? This 3 functional group attached to the first carbon, they remain in the same orientation, whereas this OH will come to the position of Br, Br will go to the position of H, and H will come to the position of OH, and we get a final structure like this. Now, if at all I gave you this structure and keeping this carbon number 1 fixed, if I ask you to rotate the carbon at this position by 120 degree, then without seeing the second structure, can you draw the structure? Bring this to this place, this one to this place, and this one to this place. Orientation of the groups and atoms attached to first carbon is kept similar or kept fixed. We get this resultant structure. This, when subjected to further 120 degrees rotation, this Br will come to this position, H will go to this position, and OH will go to this position. Okay, and we will get a structure like this. So these three different structures which are occurring because of rotation about a single bond, or rotation of atoms about a carbon-carbon single bond occurs, then we get a set of conformers which are also called as conformational isomers or conformers. Okay, and the concept or the basic mechanism is called as the mechanism of conformations. Most often, these rotations occur very fast at room temperature. As a result, the conformations are not considered as different compounds. For this, so for now, remember that just because the structures look different, it does not mean that they represent different compounds. The compound remain the same. Only thing that is differing here is the conformation of the molecule is different. Here, for the sake of understanding or for the ease of understanding, here I have taken three orientation or three conformation of the same person who is represented in three different orientations. If all the three represent the same person, in that case we can say their orientation, the orientation of the person is different in three positions. However, the person remains the same. Conformations can be shown by bond line or zigzag method or Sauer's projection method or Newman projection method. What are these three different methods of representation of conformations? Now, when we talk about bond line conformation, it is otherwise called as Fischer projection. Here we can see the chlorine atom is pointing up the plane, hydrogen is pointing down the plane. Here also we can see bromine is pointing down the plane, hydrogen is up the plane, whereas CH3 and OH group, they lie on the plane of the carbon-carbon carbon-carbon single bond. Okay, this is one method of presentation or projection. The second method is Sauer's projection, and here instead of using solid bond and wedge bond, here we can see now these conformations can be shown by these three projections. The second projection method is Sauer's projection. Here we can see the way this the structure is represented on a two-dimensional plane is somewhat different. Here, instead of this inclined plane, here we can see the carbon-carbon bond is shown like this, and the three groups or atoms which are attached to the two carbons are shown like this. Third method of presentation or projection is Newman projection, and here the line is represented in such a way that the carbon which is in the front is presented by a simple Y structure, whereas the carbon at the back is not shown using the Y structure. It is shown by a circle, and the three atoms or groups attached to it is shown in the way they are attached. So what is the difference in this Newman projection, the first carbon is shown in such a way that we can observe this Y, whereas the carbon on the back side or the second carbon is shown using a circle. Clear? So we can say of these three types of projections, Newman projection is much more efficient as compared to, or it is much more it is much more easy to draw, as well as it is much more easy to explain. Okay, we said that conformations are different forms of a compound originating through a rotation about a single sigma bond. Sometimes a better perspective of this rotation and the forming conformation is obtained when looking through the sigma bond. And this is what we call it as Newman projection. So in short, we can say a Newman projection is a representation of the molecule while looking through a carbon-carbon single bond. Now for every Newman projection, you need to specify the carbon-carbon bond and the direction you are looking at. For example, either we can look from this side or from this side or from this side or from this side. From where we are observing, that needs to be specified, and the bond along which we want to observe, that also must be made clear first. For example, for our molecule, we can look through the carbon-carbon bond from all these angles. The direction is usually shown with which direction, in which direction we are seeing the molecule is specified by using an I symbol. So in this case, if we are looking from the top left, suppose we are observing this molecule from the top left, the corresponding Newman projection would look as follows. Here we are observing it from this angle. So the first carbon is this one, and it is attached with 3 different atoms or groups. Here we can see the chlorine atom is attached, hydrogen atom is attached, and CH3 group is attached. Here it is shown HCl and CH3, and they are represented by the help of the first carbon is represented by a Y. Okay, whereas the second carbon is represented by a circle. This circle is an imaginary object that is put in between the two carbons. So the groups on each carbon can be easily identified clearly in the Newman projection. The functional groups which are attached to the second carbon are shown in such a way that they are attached to the ring. That means they are attached to the second carbon. Here we can see OH, Br and H. Here OH, Br and H. They are attached to the ring, imaginary ring. Okay. So this way we can easily represent various conformers using Newman projections. Now, how did the groups appear where they are in, whether they are in Newman projection? Now, for the sake of ease, instead of taking the I, if at all, we take this boy. Okay. Students, I have got one request for you. Due to some urgent work, we will stop here today, and my power backup is going to finish, and the rest part of this lecture we will continue at 4 o'clock. Is that okay?
Ma'am?
Yes,
4 बजे एक क्विज आने वाली है मेरी।
ठीक है ना? Okay, no problem. I'll just request ma'am so that she can give some extended time to you people. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. So we will continue with the remaining part of this lecture at 4 p.m. Sorry. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we will meet at 4 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.